strange morning for residents of a village in Lamu today. In the morning, they were rounded up by Al-Shabaab militants and forced to listen to a radical sermon for at least an hour. We're reporting on that, and these are the stories.
Anybody who is doing that is breaking the law. Na sheria lazima ichukue mkondo wake.
More police deployed to Marsabit town as calm returns after a day of skirmishes. Residents flee Ishakani village in Lamu after 100 armed militants invade village.
Kabla wajaondoka walinifunga na kanipika na panga huko kichwa wakihitaji pesa.
How a gang raided 3 villages in Mount Elgon, killed and gang raped women.
Hata hii serikali itatengenezwa. Tunaongea ingine ya 5 years to come. Jamani, is that how we run politics in Kenya?
While leaders in Nakuru are angry over Mandago's handling of hawkers in Eldoret.
When I was born, my mom and midwife was unable to tell whether I'm a boy or a girl.
The dilemma of being born neither male nor female, our special on intersex children.
NTV Weekend Edition with Larry Madowo.
Nakuru County leaders now accusing Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago's administration of ethnic profiling, days after a video emerged showing county askaris manhandling hawkers in Eldoret town. Led by Governor Lee Kinyanjui, they claim Mandago is targeting members of their community and Deputy President William Ruto should intervene to keep the Jubilee Party intact. They spoke during the homecoming ceremony of Bahati MP Kimani Ngunjiri, and Enoch Kolia is beginning our broadcast tonight.
Asikuja akaingia katikati yetu na Ruto kuharibia Ruto kura. Si ndio?
This is the video clip that has sparked outrage in President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party. It was reportedly filmed on a street behind the Eldoret main market on Friday. A group of Uasin Gishu County askaris in civilian clothes, flanked by police officers, are seen dragging a man on the ground while clobbering him. The officers are also captured destroying dozens of fruits, including bananas and oranges, on several trolleys believed to belong to the hawkers. Most hawkers in Eldoret are perceived to be originally from the Mount Kenya region. Leaders from Nakuru County are therefore accusing the county of Uasin Gishu of ethnic profiling.
Vile tunaangalia wenyu hapa, sipewe angalia wetu. That is a conversation we would want to have. Na mimi niseme nitaongea na Mandago today. Si ni kweli? Tusikubali chama yetu yaribiwe na mambo ambao sisi wenyewe tunaweza tukatatua. Hiyo ndio mambo tukataka hata Deputy President address kuangalia. Kura zake za 2022 isikuje karibiwa na Mandago.
The government of Governor Mandago maintains that it was evicting hawkers from the town's central business district using the right channels. Uasin Gishu County says the hawkers had refused to use a modern market it constructed and were instead operating in the CBD. It further accuses hawkers of engaging in illegal activities like selling alcohol and bang.
Huyu mtu alikuwa na kisu na ametunga askari. Tumekimbiza hospitali. So hiyo kungangana na askari, wale waliowaona pale walikuwa na tisam. Hiyo mtu ambaye alikuwa na kisu.
But Nakuru leaders are not buying the story from Eldoret. To them, Mandago is marginalizing certain communities by denying them resources for political reasons.
Hata hii serikali itatengenezwa tayari. Tunaongea ingine ya 5 years to come. Jamani, is that how we run politics in Kenya? Tungeomba kwanza hii serikali ambayo tuko naye na iko mikononi. Kwanza, we deal with this government.
The 2022 lecture also went to Nyeri Town MP Ngunjiri Wambugu and former Kiambu Governor William Kabogo over their statements that Mount Kenya's support for Ruto's 2022 presidential ambition is not guaranteed.
Huyu mbunge wa Nyeri hata kabla hajaapishwa anaanza kuongea mambo ya succession.
But even as the debate intensifies, Hawkers in Eldoret maintain that they contribute a significant percentage of Uasin Gishu's revenue and they deserve respect.
Kwani county yuko ndani ya Kenya ama county iko kivyake?
Enoxikolia, NTV.
Police in Bungoma are investigating an incident where a gang of robbers raided 3 villages in Mount Elgon and shot dead 2 people. 2 women who were gang raped in the process are now recuperating at a local hospital. And as NTV's Zacchaeus Mwasame reports from Bungoma, this is the 11th incident to occur in Mount Elgon in just 2 months.
These hopeless faces are enough evidence of the silent pain Mount Elgon residents are now forced to live with. A number of similar attacks have in the recent past been reported here, but none like this latest case. One of the victims stands out largely due to his age. 91-year-old Joseph Kipkut from Chemwene Bay village, who was shot dead by the armed robbers who raided his village. His only mistake raising the alarm after he realized that his son, Japheth, was under attack. Japheth was left with a serious machete cut on his head.
Baada ya kutoka kidogo kamshoot mzee katika nyumba yake akiwa amelala. Sasa mzee alisikia sauti mahali mimi nilikuweko kwa sababu nyumba ilikuwa karibu. Mzee akasikia sasa vile wanagonga mlango. Ndiposa hata pia naye vile alitoka ndiposa wao jangili sasa wakaona ya kwamba anatoka kwa nyumba, ndiposa wakaweza kumshoot.
The robbers, who were armed with guns and machetes, are said to have taken their time to carry out a looting operation at Koringotuni and Chemwene Bay village, where businessmen and farmers who had just sold their farm produce were the target.
Kabla wajaondoka walinifunga na kanipika na panga huko kichwa wakihitaji pesa.
A businessman was shot dead at Kapchebuk village for failing to comply with their demands. The gang that is said to have been in full police combat then proceeded to Huruma Market, which is approximately 200 meters away from a GSU camp, where a similar operation was carried out.
Maaskari saisa hawana chochote, hawana ulinzi. Tungeomba tu ya kwamba walidudanganya ya kwamba NBR watatupatia, na tena wanasidisa ya kwamba wako na hatuoni. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali sijui vile watatusaidia kweli.
The 2 women who were gang raped in the neighboring Banantega village are currently hospitalized with serious injuries in their private parts.
Hawalali ndani ya nyumba, mtu tu akipata pesa pengine kwa shamba anajishughulika, lazima aone mahali ambapo ataishi, anakaa na hofu. Nilikuwa naomba serikali ya Kenya iangalie mlima kwa sababu hiyo si vizuri.
This is the 11th incident to occur in Mount Elgon in a span of 2 months, where more than 20 people have lost their lives. Zacchaeus Mwasame, NTV, Bungoma.
And now to that story I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Residents of Ishakane village in Lamu County have fled their homes after 100 heavily armed suspected Al-Shabaab assailants invaded the village that borders Somalia. The residents are seeking refuge in neighboring Kiunga. Area leaders want villages armed so that they can be in a position to defend themselves in case they're attacked again. NTV's Sharon Baranga reports.
Na sisi tutaomba tupewe bunduki ambayo ni automatic. Watu ya Milanulu hapa mashambani wapewe, watu ya pande ya juu wapewe, na sisi hiyo silaha hapana ya kuelekezana sisi kwa sisi, lakini silaha yote tunaelekeza pande ya maadui.
They are desperate attempts to try and protect their territory after their trust in the government to protect them continuously fails them. Ishakane village had to contend with over 100 heavily armed men suspected to be Al-Shabaab for the better part of the morning. For about an hour, the men preached to the residents. Residents say the attack started at about 6:30 a.m., where they were forced to listen to radical teachings until around 8 a.m., when they retreated back to the forest, forcing many of the residents to flee the village.
Kila siku ni mauaji pale. Serikali imeshindwa kudili na hawa watu. Sisi saa hii tunaambia serikali ipewe watu wetu silaha, wale home guard wetu wa zamani wapewe silaha ile automatic ili wadili na hawa watu.
The villagers who live at the border of Lamu and Somalia received warnings from the militants. They are not to cooperate with security agencies and they should avoid traveling in military and police vehicles. This was a friendly note from the suspected Al-Shabaab who say they have no issues with the locals. The villagers also reported that the militants went to Ishakani police post where they took away the government and police flags and hoisted their own flag. As of now, the police post has no police officer after the government moved officers serving in the area to pave way for special forces including the Kenya Defence Forces. The incident comes just a day after 3 police officers and a civilian were killed when a group of suspected Al-Shabaab militants attacked 2 police Land Cruiser vehicles at Nyongoro on the Lamu-Garsen road yesterday. The family that lost their loved one, the civilian in the attack, is in mourning. The woman who was shot was a laboratory technician at Uzima Clinic in Peketoni. She was heading to Garsen police station before they were ambushed by more than 50 militants. The police were escorting passenger buses from Lamu to Mombasa. The 2 vehicles were set ablaze by their attackers. While celebrating Maulid at Masjid Nur Mosque in Eldoret, Muslim leaders condemned the Lamu attack. Lamu County Commissioner Gilbert Kitio confirmed the incident and urged residents to be calm. Kitio says a sufficient number of security officers have been deployed to the area to pursue the militants. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Calm returned to Marsabit town this evening after Area Member of Parliament Dido Ali Rasso addressed angry youth and cautioned them against destruction of property and looting. This follows yesterday's ugly ordeal between the police and protesters, mostly youth, who are demanding the release of a local sheikh, Guyo Gossa, arrested by the anti-terror police unit on suspicion of having links with the terror group Al-Shabaab. Tension was high for the better part of the day after the 3 young men who died in yesterday's protest were laid to rest. More security personnel were deployed last night from within the county and businesses remained closed for the better part of the day. There was minimal movement in town till this evening. In the meantime, businessmen whose property was destroyed are beginning to count their losses.
We don't accept terrorism, we don't accept terrorists, and anybody who is doing that is breaking the law, na sheria lazima ichukue mkondo wake.
Walikuja jana, walitupata tukiwa upande wa hoteli. So walichukua kila kitu yenye tulikuwa nayo, nilikuwa na 50,000. Walichukua 50,000, simu, kila kitu walichukua, walipora yote, wakaniumiza mguu, alafu wakatoka.
Sisi kama viongozi, pia wafanyabiashara, tutajaribu kuketi ili tujadiliane jinsi wale wenye biashara wale waliadhirika sana, jinsi gani wataweza kusaidiwa.
Kama MIC na kama mashekh preachers, Islamic preachers ya Marsabit, tunapeana pole kwa ndugu zetu wa dini wa Katoliki kwa yale ambayo kwamba imetokea, sio kwa mapenzi yetu, ni vurugu ya shetani na tunalaani kitendo kama hiyo.
Fuel prices are going up countrywide starting midnight, so if you've got an empty tank, you've just got slightly over 2.5 hours to fill up your tank at the current rates. The maximum price for super petrol is going up by 2 shillings and 13 cents in Nairobi. Diesel is up by 2 shillings 39 cents and kerosene is going up by 3 shillings and 36 cents. That is the largest of the 3 increases. In its monthly notice, the Energy Regulatory Commission says the hike in prices is because of the average landed cost of imported super petrol increasing by nearly 4% in December compared to November. Over that same period, the price of crude oil went up marginally and the Kenya shilling weakened slightly against the US dollar, the currency for the global oil trade. So far in Nairobi, super petrol will now cost 106.30 at the pump. Diesel will set you back 94.82 shillings per litre and kerosene 74.78. The ERC justified the fuel price controls in its statement, though they remain very unpopular with oil marketers in the country. The new prices are effective from midnight until, oh well, look at that, Valentine's Day. How lovely. Okay, imagine a fully built market but without traders. such as the state in Nyeri, where 2 markets in Kamakwa and Othaya that were projects of the government's economic stimulus program 8 years ago are yet to be occupied by the ever-increasing number of traders in the region. As NTV's Melita Letenges reports, some of them have lost hope, even as the county government of Nyeri maintains that the markets would soon be occupied by the traders.
This modern facility, standing a few meters from Othaya town, is one of the markets that was proposed to be constructed under the economic stimulus program, costing taxpayers millions of shillings. This structure comprises of market stalls, perimeter fence and an ablution block. Upon its completion, the market was expected to house hundreds of traders, translating to a huge business community that would boost the economy of the county. But years later, the structure is yet to be inhabited, and traders and residents here are growing wary.
Hii soko ilijengwa mapema sana, ikasemekana itakuja kufunguliwa. Haikufunguliwa, imekaa kwa muda mrefu. Kwa hivyo tunaweza kuomba hata huyu gavana wetu, hata yeye akikunja atuangalie hiyo mambo.
Ile imechukua muda mrefu sana. Hata kabla hii jengo ile ilikuwa imejengwa. Sasa hii ikafungua hata mbele na ile tu inakoma tu. Hakuna pesa inatengeneza kwa Kenya ama kwa Othaya.
Some of the lucky traders who managed to secure space for themselves operate in this open-air market in the middle of Othaya town, whereas the unlucky ones operate outside the market. However, inside or outside, they all face challenges of space.
Sijui itafika lini siku tuweze kunini pale, tuweze kuanzia kuuza, sababu hapa mahali tunakaa hata nyinyi mnaona ni bali kuna stress juu ya magari na watoto tunafaa tuwatafutie shuleni school fees. Sasa ningeomba tu angalau kama ni hati mmeweka mtimize na tuweze kukaa mahali pale tuuze.
Na sasa hata ukiona kwa hii soko ni projected. Kwa maana kuna wauzaji wengi hata kuliko wanunui.
But what is this irony of markets without traders and the puzzle of the years in between?
Probably the issues might have arisen either in how quickly the projects could be done, maybe the acquisition of the land, agreeing with the communities. But all in all, I believe that they were good programs.
The situation is no different at the Kamakwa market at the outskirts of Nyeri town. Here, the project is also complete, but traders have been forced to carry out their trading activities right outside the already built market. Residents here say they have lost hope in the opening of the market.
Tulikuwa na mambo mengi hapa. Sababu tulikuwa na manyumba mengi, watu wakabomolewa. Sasa kaambiwa sasa soko ikimalizika atarudishwa. Sasa wanangojea mpaka wakati. Sasa wanachidwa, tutarudi lini? Watoto wanaendelea na masomo. Sisi hatuna mahali nyingine ya kutoa pesa.
The county government has however remained adamant that they are working towards officially opening these markets and many more within the county. The county executive member in charge, however, admits there has been challenges.
The question is not that whether the traders are there, but it is true. We have challenges trying to relocate them because they want to be where they are used to. Now we want to start with the solution. We are saying a market like Kamakwa and Othaya, we are going to open them, and we are going now to require all the traders that are not trading from the correct places to relocate.
These projects were aimed at accelerating economic growth in different parts of the country, but even upon the completion of these projects, they are yet to be occupied by traders, begging the question, are these projects an expensive failure? Melita Letenges, NTV, in Othaya, Nyeri County.
So an expensive failure or a white elephant? That's the question. It's a fascinating problem that Nyeri has there with those markets that cost quite an amount of money. Okay, I'm taking a really quick break right now on NTV's Weekend Edition. When we come back...
I was born, my mom and midwife was unable to tell whether I'm a boy or a girl.
It is an increasingly common dilemma of being born neither male nor female. Our special on intersex children, straight ahead. Welcome back. When a couple finds out they're expecting, they might make plans for a boy or a girl. But for some parents, finding out the sex of their child isn't so simple. Children born with ambiguous genitalia display characteristics that are not clearly male or female. They're intersex. Whereas some parents accept the child as they are, others treat these children as a curse and abandon them or kill the innocent souls. Others keep them in hiding, while many opt to take them to hospital where they undergo surgeries to make them conform to either male or female gender. Intersex has long been shrouded in mystery and taboo, but now a new generation of activists have come out into the open and are calling on the government to grant them legal recognition. Here now, part 1 of Born in Between with NTV's Rose Wangoi.
Most of us think ourselves as either male or female, but every year in Kenya, some children are born with a mix of male and female biological traits that can make it hard for doctors to assign them a male or female sex. These people are intersex. NTV spoke to several families with intersex children as they face the dilemmas of growing up as neither male nor female, but somewhere in between. Every mother arguably looks forward to delivering a healthy baby, but it was not the case for this family. It was a joyous moment when this couple, whom will protect their identities and call them Mark and Janet, welcomed their son into the world on October 15th, 2010.
Niko na firstborn ambaye ni msichana. Sasa venye nilipata nikijua nimepata kijana, nilifurahia sana.
But it had something that slightly disturbed us because the boy had an ambiguous genitalia. But we never took it that serious. We used to go to hospital and then the doctors recommended my child has to undergo a very minor surgery. Just, we call it an undecided testicle, where they operate minor and bring the testicles down. So they took what we call a biopsy. Something shocking when the result came, a name that I don't even like to mention, hermaphrodite, which even mentioning Stakangi because I've never imagined having such. So we were told on the right side there is an ovary and there is a testicle. In fact, in a combination it's called ovo-testis. And then the left side, it was told it is an ovary. We know our child is a boy. It's known as mixed gonad dysgenesis, can cause kidney failure, or even the ovo-testis can become cancerous. I'm telling you, our life have never been the same because you are scared. Why God? Why did this happen to us?
And that now puts a lot of pressure to the profession and to the decisions that we must make, because we cannot separate the two tissues together. They have grown up together. They are mixed, and that is now proper mixture. A lot of counseling to be done. We make decisions either to remove everything or to allow the child to grow with the two of them, and then at puberty suppress one with medications. The options are many.
Intersex person is someone who doesn't fit the typical definition of male or female, as they may have variations in their chromosomes, gonads, sex hormones, or genitals.
We were told now to go for further tests. I was surprised for once that we don't have those tests, karyotype in Kenya. The samples were taken and sent to South Africa. We were shocked to get the result that our boy is not even a boy. He is a she. My wife could not even come out of that place. She fell down. So when I went, I was also shocked. No uterus. Then how comes our child is a boy? Greatest question that I don't know who will answer me.
Ati mtoto wangu venye nimemlea kama kijana, ati akuwe msichana. Hiyo nashindangwa hata nitasema aje hata kwa society tena nianze kumvalisha nguo za msichana. Ni kitu yenye sijaisikia mpaka nilikuwa nashindwa, Mungu wangu, ni nini hii? Hiyo ilinishtua sana 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 sana.
Two people mentioned about killing our child. I was shocked. And I told my wife, we can't do this. She was told it is there. Many people have done it. In the community, it's termed as a taboo because people would think you are bewitched or you are cursed. That's why you are giving birth to such a child. But you see, the child belongs to God. I've done a lot of research asking many people privately, pretending the case is not mine. Everybody asks, I've never heard. Many people have come to know the condition our child is. Your son is not even a boy. You see that? So everybody wants to see that boy and to see how he looks like. You can now imagine the condition and the fear that brings to our family.
Hata kwanza shule walijua shida yake kabisa. Sasa tukaona afadhali kumficha sasa. Jua akijua ati anaambiwa yeye ni msichana, hii inaweza muaffect sana. Sasa ndio maana tulimchukua tukamtransfer akaenda shule nyingine. Anajua kuna shida. Juu akienda hii haja dogo anaenda kama msichana. Hata wa leo anasemanga, mam, nitatibiwa lini niende haja dogo kama fulani.
Have been cancelled, both me and my wife. We have come to accept the situation.
There are at least 40 intersex variations ranging from genetic, chromosomal, anatomic, and hormonal. For example, a child might be born appearing to be female on the outside, but having mostly male typical anatomy on the inside, or a baby could be born with a male genital, but have ovaries instead of testes. In some cases, a baby may be born to have genitals that seem to be in between the usual male and female types.
Research is going on, but we think that there is a gene which has not behaved the way it was meant to be, or the mother could be taking some particular medications, some particular hormones, which then the baby picks up, or the mother could be having some particular diseases which produce an exorbitant amount of hormones, where the baby again picks up.
Statistics from the Child Rights International Network conservatively estimates that there are over 20,000 intersex people in Kenya. When Paul, not his real name, was born, his arrival was supposed to be met with celebration. Being the firstborn, he was supposed to bring joy to his parents.
Kipata huyu kijana tulikuwaga na baba yake. Na ndio tukaweza kupata huyu mtoto. Kuambiwa na daktari ati ako na shida. Alitoka kwa boma asubuhi na mapema kwenda, alienda akiambiwa watu, mimi nasaa watoto wenye hawana organs mzuri. Ati ameangalia huyu mtoto, ameona hata akitibiwa namna gani hata wai tibika. Nililia nikalia nikijua tulisaa kijana na yeye.
At birth, Paul appeared to be a normal baby boy.
Kijana yangu ni intersex, mwenye saa hii ako na miaka 17. Alimpata tu kwa hospitali. Waliniambia mtoto ako na shida, lakini saa hizo hawangeweza kumfanyia operation. Muende amalize miezi 2 ndio waone hiyo kitu vizuri, jira iko inajionyesha vizuri. Rudi huko, waliniambia mtoto hana shida, ile kitu iko ni shimo. Na hiyo shimo wataifunga, wataweza tafuta nyama kwa mapaja yake, waifunike ndio at least mtoto aendelee. Na wakafanya vile na mtoto akaendelea vizuri. Tukakaa na yeye mwaka wa kwanza, mwaka wa pili, nikaona hapana, mtoto kuna shida bado. Hiyo mkojo bado inalika. Nikamrudisha huko, wakaniambia sasa inabidi tushone vizuri. Inaonekana hatukushona vizuri, akafanywa operation tena. Nikamlea kama kijana. Sasa vile mtoto alifika miaka ambayo sasa hungeweza kumwangalia, mimi nikafikiria labda mtoto wangu alipona. Sikuwa naona akiwa na shida. Mtoto wangu alipita vizuri, akaenda form 1, form 2, form 3 first term. Ndio niliona kijana wangu amebadilika. Akirudi shule, anakaa wiki 1, 2, anarudi nyumbani. Nikimuuliza ni nini kijana, ananiambia mama, mimi niko na shida na naonaga shida yangu huelewagi. Sasa ndio na shida anitaambia nani. Ilikuwa sasa ni monotonous. Ninamrudisha shule, tunaongea na mwalimu anamkubali. Saa nyingine ninaambiwa nimekupea wiki zingine 2 uende ukae na yeye hivyo anataka. Kaniambia mama, If you are not understanding my problem, the society is not understanding my problem, school pia hawanielewi. Mimi mahali imefika sasa nimeona afadhali kukufa. Sasa ndio sasa nikaona hii kitu sasa ni serious. Mwa dada yangu aliongea na yeye na akamwambia yeye akona shida anapata period. Hiyo kitu yenyewe ilinistua jilisiku hata mimi nafikiria hiyo kitu inaweza kuwa hivyo. Sasa sio parts nipate kama wasichana. Sasa nashindwa kuelewa. Hata nikiwa kwa shule hiyo ndio inafanyaga nitoroke jiri nikianza tu hivi nashindwa nifanye nini? Nitoroke kwa fence niende nikatafuta usaidizi na huko nje. Yenyewe nilikuja kustressika jiri yake. Jiri yeye mwenyewe nilijua alikuwa stressed kabisa na hakuwa na yeyote yule wa kuelezea.
Like, why did God treat me like this way? And that actually brought stress. In school, I was a very bright student because even the past records, I've never attained less than a B+. I dropped out of school because of stigmatization. It's like now your friends have known you. Even the teachers, when they know your condition, they don't want even to see you. You don't have anybody you can share your problems with.
In 2016, Josephine took her son to hospital for further test.
Kusema ukweli ana experience mambo mawili. Kijana, msichana, lakini bado wanasema hiyo ya usichana hakuna siku ataikubali. Hormones zilisema usichana ndio mwingi kushida ukijana. Jirie ameguro kama kijana. Kila kitu hata ukimsikiza yenyewe akona base. Ameogereshwa na counselors na ameweza kuelewa kweli ako bado na maisha hata akiwa kwa hiyo hali.
There is menstruation. That's a good sign. It is going to come from the uterus. It means that they are ovaries. So this is a female who needs just a little of changing the outside because every system is that of a female. It's going to have breasts. That's very easy. And if he has grown up as a boy, it's going to be difficult for him to continue being a boy.
I came to accept myself. Self-realization is what is important. As long as you know yourself, that's the best way you can handle your problems.
Moments after giving birth, Mary, not her real name, faced a difficult choice, deciding whether her baby would be a boy or a girl.
Nilimpata mtoto on 1999. Mtoto mwenye alikuwa na viungo viwili ya msichana na mvulana. Na tukaanza kumlea kama msichana. Na alipofanyiwa testi huko ndani, akaonekana bado hata huko ndani ako mara mbili. Ako na homoni za mvulana na za msichana. Ikiwa ni upande wa msichana, tukaambiwa hanaga ovary. Si kama wazazi, tuliketi chini na tukaongea. Tukasema tu tuendelee na kumtereka, atengenezwe akiwa msichana. Akiwa mdogo nilikuwa ninamficha sana, lakini kuna mambo huwezi kuficha. Juu hata watu wa kijiji walikuwa wanakuja kukunywa chai ya mtoto, lakini wengi walienda kunifichulia mwishowe ya kuwa sio chai walikuwa hasa walikuwa wanakuja kukunywa, walikuja wamuone ili waone venye anakaa. Surgery ya kwanza akaenda akafanyiwa. Hiyo surgery ya pili alitolewa testi hizo za upande wa mwanaume. Sasa wakati huo alikuwa darasa la 6. Mimi nilikuwa nikifikiria after hiyo surgery mtoto wangu sasa ataanza kukua kama msichana.
By the time 19-year-old Jackie, not her real name, reached puberty, she was not showing signs of developing a female gender and identifying as a girl.
Mamangu alifanya nitambue mapema venye niko. Nilijua niko tofauti sababu 13, 14, 15 bado po msichana anaanza kukuanga saa zingine naona wasichana wenye tunasoma na wao wameanza kugrow, yani kiusichana. I was expecting it, I would grow like a girl. So bado nilikuwa na expect breasts zikuwe, si ndio? So unaona umefika mahali umeruhusu, hakuna changes.
Bado alikuwa anakaa hivyo. Ni kama tu mvulana. Mara wengine wanasema ni uchawi, walikuwa wakisema hii mambo imetokana na mahali nimetoka.
Jackie went to an all-girls school, and from about the age of 15, she was picked on for being quite a masculine girl. Being prodded and stared at was humiliating and lonely.
Nilisikia wasichana watatu na walikuwa marafiki wangu, my best friends. Even wengine walikuwa my desk mates. Sasa nilisikia wakipanga penye wanataka kujua mimi ni nani. Mimi nikakimbia nikajificha kwa choo. Mimi nikasema hapana, mimi siazishi. Nikaandikia mama barua. Nikamwambia mimi sisomi tena na siishi kwa hii dunia. Nataka kujiua. Nikakaa, nikikuja akaisoma. Mama alishikwa na uchungu. Sasa unaona hiyo kitu imeexpose kwa watu wote. Nikapatana na walimu wawili, wakanifanya counseling. Mpaka nikaona sasa hakuna kitu kingine. Si mimi nilijiumba. Lakini unaona bado niko na uchungu moyoni. Nikaamua kusoma. I failed. Nikaanguka kabisa, nikaanguka hata kitu sijai expect. Sababu yenye tu nilipata lowest header C print. So unaona hii KCSE kikuja nipate D+, unaona nimefail. Nile kitu imenisumbua. Mimi siendangi kwa watu. Sababu unajua hakuna kitu hawajui. Sina marafiki.
Mawazo mengi huwa inanipitia juu ni mtoto wangu wa kwanza, na mpaka sasa huwa hakui kama watoto wengine. Hata watu wa kijiji huwa wananiuliza, kwani mtoto wako hakutengenezwa na ulikuwa ukimpeleka hospitali? Mimi wakati mwingine huwa nalia juu ya huyo mtoto wangu. Juu hata alipomaliza shule, hata college hawezi enda. Juu anasemanga sasa ataenda college akiwa namna gani. Hata wakati mwingine ilifika na akachukua dawa kwa nyumba, akaenda siku ya karibu, akaenda akaikunywe. Bahati nzuri watoto wengine na nyanya yake ndio walimsaidia.
My mom has made me very strong. Amenifanya tu ni wapo. Sababu anafikanga mahali ananiambia si mimi nilijiumba, si aliyetaka niza hivyo. Sasa ni Mungu na ananiambianga Mungu anajua tu venye anatakanga na wewe.
That is just part 1 of Born in Between. After the break, we'll be back with part 2. Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. We take you now to part 2 of Born in Between with Rozwangoi.
I'm Joseph Ngari. I was born an intersex. I grew up as a girl named Josephine Wangari. I'm 30 years old. After kuzaliwa nikiwa kwa maternity, mamangu alipewa ruhusa akatoka. Wakijua mimi ni kijana Joseph, walikuwa ameniname. But after wakaenda nyumbani, auntie yangu akiniosha ndio walijua there was a problem. So wakaprefer kunirudisha hospitali. Yani wali-examine wakaona mostly parts zenye zinaonekana ni za female. So wakadecide kunitengeneza as a woman. The first operation ilifanywa. I was 8 months old. So the second one ilifanywa kaa niko 7 years. After puberty stage, sasa hapo ndo nilianza mimi mwenyewe nikaanza kuona changes. Yes, navaa kama msichana, but tunajipata hata naweza enda nichukue nguo za brother yangu naanza kuvaa hizo maroni. 2 or 3 when so nikaanza kudevelop base. After base nilikuwa standard 8 nika develop breasts. So nikakaa, but it was challenging. Venye nilianza kumea ndevu nilistuka. Sasa nilikuwa nanyoa. Alafu nikaenda nikatafuta dawa ya kupaka. The more nilipaka inaendelea kutokea pimples, nikaachana nayo. So venye niliachana nayo ndio zikadevelop tena more than that. But nilikuwa nazinyoa style at least nione tu niko tu comfortable. Hata kama ni after 2 days tu, provided watu wasione nywele za huku zimedevelop hivyo mpaka kwa kifua. So hizo zote nilikuwa nanyoa. Mpaka mimi mwenyewe kwanza nilikuwa najiisolate na wengine. Tuna feel venye hii maswali mingi wananiuliza, najifeel uncomfortable. Most of the people wenye walikuwa wanani confuse. Najua mwingine hata anakuita kama ni kusania, anaweza kukusania kama jamaa. Haya, most unaweza enda hata kama ni kwa duka, wanakuelewa mwanaume. Before hawezi kukuelewa kama kama mwanamke kulingana venye umevaa na your physical appearance. Lakini ukivaa skirt inakuwa contradicting. Sura ni mwanaume but ni venye umedress inaleta shida. Unaweza enda hata kama ni kwa matatu unapanda, unasikia panda bro. Hata siwezi enda hata kama ni church au ni wapi, sitaki yani penye kuna watu wengi. Nilikuwa niitwa boarding. Mimi nikaambia mama yangu hata sitaki shule unitafutie kosi ya kufanya. Hata niliprefer nikamwambia mimi nataka kosi ya mechanic. Akaniambia tena una prefer kosi za wanaume utawezana nazo. Akaniambia mimi sitaki uende hizo mechanics. Itabidi basi kama utaki boarding tukupeleke day school. Nikatafutua day school ndio nikajoin. Kwangu nilikuwa tu najiona ni mimi peke yangu. Unajiuliza maswali mingi. Hata sometimes unaweza tu jiangalia hivi venye una develop, unasikia tu umejihate. Hata unawish better ukufe tu. Juu jioni ukifit na wale wengine, especially unaweza enda kama ndio mnaona venye wamedevelop sio hivyo huko. Ila kama niko wanaume uko tofauti. Mpaka nilikuwa nimeambia mamangu mimi sioni maana kwa hii life.
I'm Ryan Mwirure Wangui, or you can also call me Ruth Muhaki Wangui. I'm an intersex. I'm an intersex activist. I was born 28 years ago. I really hate the day I was born. But all in all, I thank God for where I am. When I was born, my mom and midwife was unable to tell whether I'm a boy or a girl. They assigned me as a girl, and that's how I was raised up. When I was born, I had my dad come to keep to the hospital and say that it's not the point of taking a abnormal child. So I can say maybe I was the cause of my mom's marriage breakage, because my dad says that he can't take a curse to his family, because in our culture, it's like when you are born an intersex, you are a curse or you are bad omen. In class 6, that's where the puberty started. When I realized that instead of growing like a normal girl, I'm growing masculine. You expect the breast to grow, the hips to enlarge, but that never happened. My voice is breaking somehow. I'm not comfortable being a girl, but by the time I never known what was going on or what was the problem. When I was in class 8, things changed a lot. Everyone was telling me, "Ay, Ruth, you look a boy. Ruth, naona devs in America." I become a topic in our class and also in our school. So I got to a point of dropping out from school. My mom and the family were punishing me that I don't want to go to school. So I had no conducive environment, neither in school or at home. So the best place was maybe being away from my homestead. I went to the street. I stayed on the street for almost a year and a half. But my mom searched and found me where I was. We had a little talk, and I agreed to get back to school, where I sat for my KCPE, and later joined a girls' school. That's where the things were too worse. You can imagine being in a girls' boarding school, being an intersex, whereby you don't want anyone to know what's happening. So I was forced to wake up at maybe 2:30 or 3 to take a shower before anyone is awake, to try to avoid them to see that I have a different body. Fellow students realized that I have a different body because I started receiving love letters from them. The teachers was accusing me for being a lesbian in school, that I'm engaging it. I dropped at Form 2. Wakati nilijua kila mtu ashajua my condition. Because the big question I was asking myself is, whom am I? Am I a boy? Am I a girl? Yes, I feel I'm a boy or I'm a man.
Intersex people are not rare, but they are widely misunderstood. They face deep social stigma, suffer low self-esteem and feel rejected. Families with intersex children find it very hard to cope with the challenge, so they opt to hide them.
In the village, that's where the big problem was. A group of young men got to a point of kidnapping me. But when they undress, sijui chenye waliona, they were surprised ama walifanya nini, kwa sababu hata hakuna mtu aliongea, wote walitoroka tu. But that rumor spreaded everywhere. Like anyone want to know whether it's true or not. Ndio maana nikapata watu wananisimamisha kwa barabara. I become a laughing stock whereby ukipita praise, hata kama ni kwa hoteli, watu wanaacha machai, wanatoka nje kukuangalia. Kabidi nilikuwa najifungia kwa nyumba, sitoki, juu sitaki watu wanione, sitaki watu wanijue. Mpaka ikafika praise nikajua kuna a group wamepanga saying that I'm a curse in the family, I'm a curse in the society. That's why the village is facing some challenges. We must kill you. We can't accept you in our village. When unafanya hakuna mvua. in my whole life, sijailia kilio yenye nililia that night. I cried asking God questions. I was talking like I'm talking face to face with God. I asked him so much heavy questions, and that's when I ran away from the area. I have tried to commit suicide more than 7 times. Kachukua kamba. There is a tree beside there. I went and climbed and hung myself. I don't know where to say, maybe a good luck or a bad luck. Kamba ikakatika. Ndio like venye ilikatika kila mtu akasikia, akaamka. So na mimi nikatoka, nikajifanya I was not the one. From that I've tried to take chemicals up to a point where I tried to look for the heavy chemicals. I don't know how I survived that. It's a very, very heavy chemical, but I survived. But I went to a point of losing my sight for 3 months and also my voice. But I thank God I was saved by my aunt.
Najipata wale mko nao vijana pale. Uzuri niliamua mmoja wako na deal ya kwenda kuniangalia na kuaga aje. Walikuwa na suspect ni dem, ni Charlie. So uzuri mmoja akaniambia mapema. From that day nilihama na nikaenda kabisa, sikuwahi rudi huko. Shosho yangu huyo kwanza alikuwa ananipa story according to nini kwa familia yao happen. Kulikuanga na mtu kama huyo. So alikuwa ananipeanga example na huyo. Na ile miaka aliishi. Ananiambia sasa usijali na wewe si wa kwanza. Kuna wengine na mashida ni mingi hata kuliko hiyo yako. So by the way ndiye alikuwa anani encourage and especially my mom.
Nikaenda kutumia public toilets. So ilibidi niingie choo cha wanawake, juu hivyo ndivyo watu wananijua, to avoid mambo mingi. But nilipoingia pale, nilipatana na mwanamke, akaanza kupiga duru. There is a man hiding in the female's toilet, maybe want to rape us, maybe you see. So the mob gathered, they attempted to beat me, or to attack me. But before they proceed on, when walianza tu kunipiga kidogo asking who are you. So wakaanza kuwa na argument wao wenyewe. Sijui ni mwanamke, ni mwanaume, sijui nini, sijui wanawake wamwangalie, sijui hapana wanaume wamwangalie. By the time they were arguing, I got a chance to run away.
Although the intersex condition can be corrected through surgery, that invasive option depends on how bad the condition is. Some cases are simple and corrective surgery can be done. In situations where surgery is impossible, individuals are counseled to accept their condition. Some intersex children may undergo surgery aimed at assigning them as male or female, yet grow up to identify as the other sex, a potentially traumatic situation. In the case of Jackie, she was operated on as an infant to make her a girl, only to arrive at puberty and display physical traits of a boy. She will now be forced to take hormonal injections for the rest of her life to suppress male features.
Sometimes reversal does happen. We have quite a number of our patients who have grown up in a particular gender, and later on they decide, they feel like they are being trapped in that gender. So can we reverse them to the gender of their feeling? That is becoming now a new challenge to the profession. And it's a deformity to make you 100% male or 100% female, because your makeup or your deformity could be extreme in either way. 2, you may not be fertile, especially if you are totally intersex, and that is something that you must know.
But before treatment or surgery commences, multiple tests are done to determine the actual gender.
We are under pressure as surgeons, as professionals, to assign this gender very early enough. Before the age of 3 years, which is the common social age for mixing with other children, we want to have done that where it is possible. Before we do all these surgeries, there is a lot of investigations to be done. One of them is to find whether you are XX in terms of your genetic map or your XY, so you're a boy.
Before you assign gender, you don't know whether it's male or female, and you cannot say that for sure for a mixed gonadal dysgenesis. Then sometimes you let them grow. As the child grows, you see what development they, and especially at around puberty, then you'll see which part is dominant. So if they develop into male, then you can do surgery to make them male. If they develop into female, you can do surgery to female. Or if they choose where to go.
An intersex person requires to undergo at least 4 chromosome tests to determine the body's internal sex organs. Each test costs over 70,000 shillings. Some of the tests are done abroad. Corrective surgery costs between 300,000 to 400,000 shillings in public hospitals and even more in private facilities, which is beyond the reach of most families. Although Jose was assigned the female gender at birth, he wishes to identify as male.
Wakati nilifikisha 23 years, nika decide kuvaa kama mwanaume because ya development zenye nilikuwa nazo. Mostly zilikuwa za mwanaume. Tuwait ndio nilienda hospitali, nikaoperatiwa huko. But hiyo sasa ilikuwa operation yangu ya 3. It was a difficult decision, but mimi nikaamua tu wherever watu watasema I will not care about it. Na nika change everything. Kaanza kuvaa kama mwanaume, zile skirt nilikuwa nazo nikapeana zote. Familia yangu imesha accept. Ugumu tu yenye wako nayo ni ile kukuita tu jina huku ndani, unajua wameshazoea. But me, I hope with time wata change. Community yenye naishi nao niko acceptable. Na maybe mtu mwenye anataka kujua that story deeply, mi huwa open na muelezea the reality na anaelewa na ana understand.
Ruth now identifies as male and goes by the name Ryan Moirore.
Introduce as a man somewhere, sikuangi na issue, watu hawastukangi. So that's when I started. Slowly by slowly by slowly. Even the extended family were happy of my decision. I had my uncle organized a very big party with the family for me, celebrating that. And they said that we knew you are a man since ulikuwa mdogo. According to your thinking, your behavior, how you take your thing, it's only that hatunge kuambia venye utafanya. My mom never wanted the shame or aibu yenye ilipatikana when I changed. Sa alitaka insist for me to be a girl. Mpaka alikuwa mgonjwa, ilibidi mpaka tunampeleka hospitali due to stress. The extended family walimuongelesha, wakamuongelesha, I'll calm down, akanielewa pia, akaniita, akaniexplainia. I'm so happy because that is the best decision ever I have ever made in my life. I have my freedom, I have my rights, I have my happiness. I can do whatever I want to do, I can go wherever I want to go as a man, as how I wanted it to be. Watu wengi hata wenye walini harass before they started apologizing, saying that we are sorry, we never knew that was the condition.
Because of the issue of the gender mark and national identity, their documents do not match their gender expressions and they are often made to feel out of place.
ID yangu huwa najulikana Josephine Wangari. But wakati unaenda kuipeana pale, wanaona we ni mwanaume. So unakuta unaitiwa askari, kuitishwa tena vitambulisho ni ya mwanamke. Na tena umerushwa kwa wanaume. Ilibidi nikaita polisi mmoja. So mimi nikamwelezea my story. Kabidi nitolewe.
Venye nilienda kwa bank, nikaenda nikapea the teller my ID. I wanted to do some transaction. Hiyo teller akaamka, mimi nikafikiria kwa the point of serving me. But I was surprised venye niliona askari nyuma yangu asking, you young man, what are you doing here? I told them I just want to do some transaction. wakanichukua wakanipeleka nje, walinipiga saying that I'm impersonating, I'm trying to do transaction ya mtu mwingine. Mmoja alikuwa mama. Venye ni explain hata yeye alikuwa surprised. I know I don't look that feminine, but this is my ID. I thank God later walikuja na waka apologize.
In 2016, nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura presented a petition to Parliament seeking to have the intersex community recognized as a third gender.
I got a lot of pushback because people thought I am introducing foreign things. I also got resistance from Kenya Christian Professional Forum, who thought I was trying to introduce issues of gays and lesbians. And that's not the point. We are opening up a Pandora's box. We are speaking uncomfortable truths to people. These are God's children. It is Him who has created them the way they are. And there is no way we can pretend that they don't exist in this country. We cannot even say that they don't count. They do count. Even when somebody's body has shown to be more male than female, you cannot tell that person is purely male or female, because there's always that mixture. So we want to have in this country the third gender. Malta has gotten it, Australia has done it, and now recently Germany. So that when you ask, are you male, female, that option is intersex.
A task force was then formed in May 2017 to come up with institutional and administrative reforms with regard to intersex. The task force comprises of various stakeholders from the Ministry of Education, Health, Interior, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, among others.
Inequalities, for instance, lack of access to social amenities, denial of services, for instance, is such a huge challenge that they face. And then discrimination of whichever form. They cannot, for instance, access employment. Where do you place them? For instance, our employment forms, you always feel male, female, such kind of thing. So where do they, place themselves? That is one. Also, employers, have they been sensitized enough to understand the intersex persons, for instance, and how to, treat them? Access to education for intersex children. It becomes extremely difficult. Where do you place them? Do you place them, for instance, in a pure girls' boarding, for instance, or a pure boys' boarding school, for instance? Many of them actually face the identity crisis. And this is what the task force would actually bring out. How should this be treated within the law, for instance?
We need an Intersex Persons Act. We need a bill that is specific on such peculiarities at this point in time, so that you guide this, you curb abuse, and you also ensure there is proper guidelines.
When it comes to wider public awareness of what it is like to be intersex, there is almost none.
We even come across members of the public who ask, what is this intersex? How do we differentiate it from gay, lesbian, name all those parameters? It is indeed, something that is not understood. But this is a natural biological, kind of makeup. The reason why the government is very keen to ensure that we have laws in place, we have policies in place that would address the aspirations and the protection of the rights of intersex persons. Work of this task force, we would have a huge campaign of sensitizing the country about the existence of intersex persons and how to protect their rights.
If you don't have an ID in this country, what can you do? You can't even vote. You can't even get other documents. You cannot even get a passport. So you are even deprived of your right to citizenship. You don't count. You cannot even, your numbers are not known. We don't even have official statistics for intersex people because it is not a demographic variable that is considered in the census, and it should be an issue that also needs to be looked out into in the 2019 census, so that we know how many intersex persons in this country. And by the way, this also does not mean that they should not matter because there could be 1,000 or 2,000 people or 10,000. Even if it is one individual in this country, he or she, or that person, because then also applying he or she is debatable, that individual has a right to be provided for, to be programmed for, and to be recognized by government. The birth certificate mark should have the that box where the mark where you tick that you are intersex. So personally, I think, Rose, it's very important that this is legislated for the avoidance of doubt.
The findings by the task force are expected to be released later this year. Shamed into silence, scarred by surgeries, intersex people are fighting their way out of invisibility, fighting for the right to exist as they are. Intersex has long been shrouded with secrecy and taboo. Recently, however, they have begun speaking out, and a passionate debate has emerged about how they are seen by the wider world.
Nimeamua kujitokeza because at least encourage wengine wenye wako hivyo wasijione yani ni kama walizaliwa, yani ni kama mystic kuzaliwa kwao, wajikubali venye wako.
The reason for like coming out and started to speak and fight for their rights is when I realized that this thing is affecting our society and is no one talking about. And I felt a lot of pain when I met a certain parent who confessed that 20 years back he was forced to kill her child for being intersex. So nikafikiria, how many children have been killed for that? Do I have to sit down and wait for the innocent children to be killed? That's when I realized that we have to do something in order to create the awareness, in order to fight and let everyone know that there is intersex condition.
A movement is beginning to emerge. Intersex Person Society of Kenya has presented fresh opportunities for intersex people to connect, seeing their difference as variations to be embraced rather than defects to be corrected.
I do counseling for the intersex people or the intersex families. I do talk to them. I do help them how to recognize who they are. Our group is an open society. You can join us. We have our FB page that is Intersex Person Society of Kenya. Maybe you are an intersex yourself, you are a parent of an intersex, or maybe you want to do something or you want to work with us. I also call upon on doctors, counselors, because our work need much counseling.
From the shadows to activism, Ryan is now campaigning so that children born like him aren't forced into biological categories, either socially by being made to identify as male or female on birth certificates and other official paperwork, or on the operating table.
What a powerful story as always by Rose Wangoi, and just so brave to see Ryan and all those in the community who are coming out there and speaking openly so that other people who go through what they have lived through do not have to go through the same experiences. Absolutely outstanding. And thank you for all of your feedback on Born in Between. We're taking a quick break right now on I was so used to Decision 2017. I was going to say Decision 2017. It's now 2018. That's all done. This is a weekend edition. We're going to be right back after the break. We're running slightly long tonight. Just a few more things to get to before your sports with Edmond Nyabola. First off, the Bora Muslim community in Nairobi today held a cycling age group event aimed at promoting healthy living among the young people within that community. Organized by the Safe Cycling Club, the event attracted participants from as young as 4 years old to about 50 years old. The races were categorized into 40 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 4 kilometers, 2 kilometers, and 300 meters around the Karen Langata area in Nairobi. During the event, the members of the community were encouraged to eat healthy foods and exercise in order to live better lives. The winners in all categories were also awarded with prizes and certificates. The Bora community is a small group of about 3,000 people in Kenya, and they are part of the Muslim Shia branch. The organizers plan to expand the event in the future to include other communities in Kenya to foster peace and unity in the country.
Without any undue wastage of time, we'll go straight to the...
It's all about health awareness in the community. Rather than children staying at home and playing with the PS and those kind of things and phones, they should be coming out and doing more activities, which is for better health. And that's what we're trying to promote here in the community. And our leader as well is promoting the same.
At this time, we have organized this at a community level, and we aim in future to organize this at a national level. And we are hopeful that we will get the encouragement, the support from the other cycling organizations in the country.
That is a really cool sport. As an amateur cyclist myself, I'm very fascinated by the fact that they did this event that involved the wider community. To many youth, social media is a favorite pastime where most of them spend endless hours, really endless hours, making friends or posting comments and images, usually just chatting with others. But a group of girls in Homa Bay County has put a new meaning to WhatsApp by empowering each other and discussing a wide range of issues affecting their reproductive health. Gabriel Kudaka explains how the digital concept is also helping to reverse the trend of rampant teenage pregnancies among the girls.
My pregnancy has grown. Everybody knows.
Teenage pregnancies and high rate of HIV infections among the youth is one of the challenges parents and youth have to grapple with in the county of Homa Bay.
You realize that in Homa Bay it's around 33% teenage pregnancy. That is, those who are between 14, you can even get 13, up to 24 years. And also the high rate of HIV infection for the teenagers, and STI as well.
It is due to such worrying statistics that education stakeholders and non-state actors like Family Health Options Kenya came up with a creative platform dubbed Learn and Chill that allows girls to share their experiences and come up with solutions digitally.
I got pregnant when I was 18 after high school. So when I joined your group, I've been getting much information on how I can live my life. Maybe being pregnant before getting marriage is not that sin yenye ukishapata mimba unaenda kuolewa. I can still live my life.
We get opportunities. We can now Google and know many things. We can now see what is going around the world.
Over 10,000 girls have joined the group, and the impact of the conversation is bearing fruits. A medical health facility in Homa Bay County attests to the success of this initiative.
Through this WhatsApp group, we get referral to our facility, because when young people ask questions and they also need services, then they are referred by the peer educators to our facility to access services.
According to the data from the Public Health Office in Homa Bay County, teenage pregnancies are gradually reducing, a fact they attribute to this digital initiative.
We used to see mostly the ages of 15 to 18 girls coming to our health facilities around. The rate of pregnancy in young girls, at least it has come down.
One of the group members is a reproductive health expert who offers expert knowledge to members when controversial matters arise.
Students who make up majority of the youths rely on social media for their research in schools, and also sharing their personal experiences because they feel so freely doing so. But apparently, it's now unfortunate that there are cases of cyberbullying that are really coming up in our society, whereby you find that young people are being bullied on these social media sites, and young people are spending a lot of time on social media, whereby they are becoming unproductive in the society.
With the new technological advancement, at least every youth is a member of one or more social media platforms. Whether it is Facebook, Instagram, or even WhatsApp, social media tends to form an integral part of their lives. What is, however, paramount is that it has its pros and cons in the way it affects the lives of the users. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV, Homa Bay County.
And that's what's up. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Okay, I'm done. Limpan done. Time now for a quick break. When we come back, Edmond Yebola has the sports.
Time for a quick look at the day's sports. My name is Edmond Nyabola. Telkom have won a record 20th Women's Hockey Premier League title after they beat Multimedia University 6-0 in today's match. The record champions, however, have no time to celebrate as they embark on preparations for the Africa Club Championships, which begin next weekend in Ghana. Brian Otwal with that report.
Telkom have once again won the Kenya Hockey Union Women's Premier League title without losing a single match. Their latest show of dominance was a 6-0 thrashing of Multimedia University at the City Park Stadium. Striker Jacqueline Mwangi netted 4 times to lead the top scorers list with 24 goals. Audrey Omaido scored another goal to improve her goal tally to 21 for the season, with Jane Ofula adding the 6th.
One thing that is coming out clearly here, our scoring is coming out clearly, our assist goals are coming out pretty well, but There's still some hitches on the midfield a bit that we need to work on, which we're going to work on.
The win sealed a record 20th title for Telkom with 2 matches to go to the end of the season. They have opened an unassailable 54 points lead, 14 points clear of second place Strathmore University Scorpions. In winning all the 18 matches thus far, Telkom scored a whopping 109 goals and conceded only 3.
We equally have very worthy opponents in Strathmore, in USIU, even Multimedia were worthy opponents. I think our standard of play and our level of play just goes higher each and every time our competition also levels goes high. So we are happy because we also make them better.
Led by coach Joseph Penda, the ladies now turn their attention on defending their Africa Cup for Club Champions title in Accra, Ghana from Saturday, where they will be gunning for a 10th continental title.
We are not going anything short of a win. We are going there, we are going to make sure that we bring back the trophy back to Kenya. That's our #1 challenge. And as usual, being #1 is always easy, but retaining #1, the hardest thing. Everybody is coming out for us, but we are ready. We are ready to give our all.
In another Women's Premier League match, Kenyatta University Titans played out a goalless draw with Vikings. Kenyatta University Vultures went down 3-0 to Butali Sugar Warriors and remain in danger of being relegated from the Men's Premier League, as Butali moved to second with 57 points, 16 ahead of Kenya Police, who clinched the title on Saturday. Brian Otwal, NTV Sport.
Congratulations to Telkom. Meanwhile, Kenya Hockey Union President Nashon Randiek retained his seat as Mike Malungu and Elina Shiveka were voted in as first and second vice presidents respectively. That is during yesterday's election. To some cricket news, and Kenya lost to defending champions South Africa by 169 runs in their opening Group A match of the Under-19 ICC Cricket World Cup in Christchurch, New Zealand. Batting first, South Africa set a target of 342 for the loss of 7 wickets in their allotted 50 overs. In response, Kenya scored. As the contractor is yet to begin working on the VIP lounge. 4 contractors have been deployed at the venue to speed up the work. Construction of the terraces, drainage system and the track are ongoing. Work on the VIP lounge has been halted by the impending standoff between Sports Kenya and the area administration police post, which has to be relocated for the work to go on. Once complete, the Meru County government says it will set up a stadium management board to run the stadium. The venue, which was one of those 4 selected to host CHAN 2018, will be open for league games, national team matches and other sports disciplines. And further afield, Manchester City's unbeaten run came to a dramatic end as they lost to Liverpool in a very entertaining 7-goal thriller at Anfield. Liverpool showed intent from the onset, missing
was a very big deal in sports today. The newsroom was going crazy.
Because of the Manchester City-Liverpool game?
Liverpool thrashed
For once, you paid attention to football.
Because the noise, I was trying to work, but everybody was not letting me work, right?
Let me tell you something. Larry's concentration span
is that like that of a 3-year-old.
So that's like a 7-a-side rugby.
Which is why I like sevens rugby.
Okay.
It is perfect for my concentration span.
Football is 90 minutes. Apparently,
too long.
It's the most entertaining sport on earth. So
I have watched a few football games in my time. And man, I have to talk about, I went back and watched Michael Olunga's hat trick. Unbelievable. He really had an excellent...
You were with him in December. His life for him in Spain, at least.
He's adjusting to Spain.
Yes.
His coach really loves him because he's got an excellent attitude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not been getting enough time to play. He's been on the bench a lot. And clearly, when he gets a chance to play, he's really good.
3 goals. The first, in fact, for Girona in La Liga.
Yes, and the first Kenyan
to score goals in the La Liga. Congratulations to him.
And you know he was hanging out with Victor Wanyama today in Barcelona?
Oh, Kenyan stars out there.
2 Kenyan stars just living their life, best lives now in Europe.
All right, my name is Edmond Nyabola. Have a good night.
And I'm Larry Madowo. We'll see you again Wednesday on Sidebar. And a special thank you to Flora Taylor, sign language interpreter tonight.
You forget things.
I always forget her. It's nothing personal.